Welcome to Sports Econ 101, the show where we discuss sports topics from a business perspective. I'm your host, Edward Brown, along with my co-hosts, Russell Jackman and Mike McDowd. At each commercial break, we're going to ask a sports trivia question. Today's trivia theme is basketball. We had baseball last week, and we had to go back to basketball because, March Madness just finished, and the NBA is getting ready for their playoffs. In the next segment, Mike's going to introduce his guest, which will be kind of fun. And Russell, we were talking just before coming on the show about watching Econ beating Purdue. Did you watch the game?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
There's the age-old adage, which is that the better team beats the better player. The team that's got A-level players will beat the team that has an A-plus player plus and surrounded by F-level players, which unfortunately showed last night.
Yeah, it's amazing. Zach Edey, he plays almost all the minutes.
Yeah,
I mean, he only came out for just a little. That's really amazing for that.
The rest of the guys didn't even show up, and I felt really bad for Zach that he was putting out all that effort, and the rest of those guys couldn't make a shot from anywhere on the floor after about the first quarter of the game, which was a shame. It should have been a lot closer and a lot more competitive, but Zach's team didn't show up. It was just him. He was the only guy that showed up yesterday.
Gotcha. And I go ahead, Mike.
Hey, Russell, no question about it. Zach Edey's the best player on that basketball court. You give him the ball in the low post, he turns around, does a hook, slams it home. The rest of the team, look, he was the best player on the court. The problem is Connecticut was the best team, period.
Exactly. All right, guys, stay with us. When we come back, Mike is going to introduce his guest. Don't touch that dial. Sports Econ 101 will be right back. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. I'm Edward Brown along with Mike McDowd and Russell Jackman. Mike, introduce our guest. Your guest.
If you insist, I will. Okay. Listen, we're going to talk about the great game of baseball. It is America's game. And with me is a guy that I've had an opportunity to get to know over the last few years. He'll be a tough interview. I got to tell you.
We're always nice to our guests.
No. Listen, I want to introduce a gentleman from the Jacksonville, Florida area. He is actually the Vice President of Marketing and Media. His name is Noel Blaha. Noel, welcome to the show, coast to coast, border to border, around the world. We're happy to have you. Nice to see you, my friend.
Yeah, thanks so much for the opportunity, Mike, and it's great to be on with you, Russ and Ed. It's just happy to be here for sure, and talk about anything you'd like to in the world of minor league baseball, and share my experiences and kind of what things are going on right now in the minor league baseball world.
And you represent a great franchise out of Jacksonville, Florida, AAA affiliate, the Jacksonville. Pardon me. Hold on, this is a wardrobe reveal. Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. I'm wearing it in your honor. I'm not getting paid for this. I had to go to the ballpark and buy the shirt myself. But the Jumbo Shrimp, a relatively new name team in minor league baseball. We want to talk a little bit about that. But I think before we talk about the Jumbo Shrimp, give us the overall state of the state about minor league baseball, first of all, and what it means to the success of a healthy overall baseball game at the MLB level.
Yeah, no, I think the one thing that I'll say right off the bat is that minor league baseball clubs are so dependent on the communities in which they reside. And my great mentor, Mike Veck, had a great quote that said the baseball team needs a community more than a community needs a baseball team. And so I say that to say we view ourselves as a community asset. And we are able to do what we're able to do because of the great support from the communities. We don't have the multi-million and billion-dollar TV contracts. We don't have the national marketing dollars that are coming in. We're dependent on guys like you, Mike, that pick up the T-shirts and buy the tickets and come to the games. And there's a statistic out there that I think it's something like 70% of everyone that lives in America is within an hour of a minor league baseball stadium. So my right off the bat, I'll say if you live near a minor league baseball team, please support it. Buy a ticket to a game, buy a T-shirt, buy a hat. All that stuff counts and matters. We're small businesses. We employ 30 people full time. And we operate, 75 ball games a year. So, and that's, we're not unique in that. We're one of the 32 AAA baseball teams. There's AA, single A, low A. They're all across the country, and it really is the fabric.
Well, you guys would make a lot more money if you didn't have all those first class tickets for all the players, right?
Well, and that's part of it too. What a lot of people don't understand too is within the minor league baseball world, what those financial responsibilities are.
Yeah.
We've got a PDL license with Major League Baseball, and we've been assigned to be an affiliate of the Miami Marlins. And so all the players that are on the field and in the dugout, the strength coach, the manager, the hitting coach, they are all Miami Marlins employees. So all those players that you see, whether it be in Yakima or here in Jacksonville, across the country, those guys are all under contract with the major league teams. And our responsibility as our business and our organization is to provide them a place to play, uniforms, and the travel expenses as well. And so we work that out with the Miami Marlins. We've got a great relationship with them, but that's, if the first baseman drops the ball to lose the game, our general manager doesn't call him in and yell at him or fire him. The Marlins handle that stuff. So it's unique, especially in a place like Jacksonville, where we're a major league market. We've got an NFL team and people want to win.
You're single A, right?
We're AAA.
Oh, you're AAA. Okay.
One step away from the majors. Yep.
Okay. For some reason, I thought. I am looking at AAA. I'm thinking I only see one A, but it's AAA. Yeah. Right. And what do they call rookie ball? Is that single A?
So rookie ball is a level below single A. It's a shorter season. Okay. It starts in June. Allows the players to finish their collegiate careers or get drafted and go into the short season.
Okay. So being AAA, you are one step away. And would AA also be, it would be affiliated with the Marlins? They'd still be under employees. It's just one level.
Yeah, all those affiliates from the AAA down to AA, single A, and rookie ball, they're all those guys are under contract with their major league affiliate. And those guys, I mean, they're investments for the team, right? They've scouted them out of the South America or the Dominican or college ball or even high school in the United States, and they've signed them. They made an investment with them. Those guys make their money essentially off of their signing bonus, and then they get paid a monthly rate to play throughout the season. And so it's real interesting. I've worked at each level. I've worked at single A, double A, and triple A. And just it's interesting to me, especially when we were at the lower level, single A and double A, the parking lot. You could tell who the bonus baby was based on the size of the vehicle they were driving, and you could tell who some of the collegiate guys were based on what they were reading in their lockers, whether they had Tolstoy or whether they had comic books. You could tell who the high school guys were and the collegiate graduates and stuff like that too. So it's a really interesting dynamic, and I think something that these major league teams have done a good job of is teaching them financial responsibility, because you've got a guy who's signed out of 17 years old out of Venezuela that is sending half of his paycheck back to his family, next to a guy who is a graduate of an Ivy League school that might have an economics degree, next to a kid from Nebraska that just finished high school and went right into pro ball. And they've got a varying level of financial understanding. And it's really interesting to see, for sure.
Oh, good. Mike?
Hey, listen. One thing, Noel, is the Jumbo Shrimp at the AAA level, vibrant stadium, vibrant community. But talk a little about your, and I think it's behind the scenes look of all the new things that went, because you used to be called the Jacksonville Suns, and then you made this change from the Suns to the Jumbo Shrimp. By the way, the logo is about as cool as it gets. I mean, I know kids out in the West Coast that love this logo, especially my nephews. And but talk a little about this is a business sports show. Talk
Yeah.
about the business aspects of that transition, the difficulties that you came into, and also why the jumbo shrimp.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the team was known as the Jacksonville Suns previously, as well as the Jacksonville Expos for a brief stint as well. We took over ownership of the team in 2016 and played a season as the Suns. But we realized that our business model was vastly different than what the previous ownership had. And the easiest way to kind of break this down to people is think of your favorite restaurant, maybe undergoing a management change or an ownership change. You know, we're going to keep the menu items there that you like. We're going to have the baseball. We're going to have the hot dogs and beer, obviously, too. But what we wanted to do was turn the page of the history of baseball in Jacksonville. And we intentionally wanted to come up with something that was fun and wacky and made you smile, because our business model is affordable family fun. And we want to attract families. My marketing is all geared towards moms, because we know that mom is the decision maker in the household. We know that the sports fan is going to find the standings. They're going to know that we just went on a road trip and won a series in Durham. But the mom that's looking for something to do this weekend with their family, that's outdoor, that's safe, that's inclusive, they may not think of us. So we view ourselves as competing with the movie theater, the beach, and air conditioned restaurants.
Gotcha. Hey, guys, we're going to cut to our first commercial break here for trivia question. We're talking the NBA. Now, I think I have this up to date, but let's say within the last 2 years, okay? Which player has played the longest in the NBA? Right? That's our trivia question. Call 888, or actually, you know what? Just email Edward at sportsecon101.com the answer to this question. Which player has played the longest in the NBA? So who had the longest career, I guess, is really the trivia question. All right, stay with us. You're listening to Sports Econ 101 with Edward Brown. And that's me, Mike McDowd, Russell Jackman, and our special guest, Noel Blaha. Don't touch that dial. We're going to be right back. Welcome. You're back to Sports Econ 101. We had a little glitch there, but we're back. All right. Trivia question number one. Which player has played the longest in the NBA? Who had the longest career?
You're talking currently in the NBA.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he definitely, it's definitely a name you'll know. It wasn't somebody, way back in Will Chamberlain's time.
Oh, okay. So you're not talking historically. You're talking like.
Well, he's now retired.
Now
so
retired.
who had the longest? Who had the longest career?
I'm gonna say Vince Carter.
Yes.
Wow.
Very good. Good guess, Vince Carter. Yeah.
I can't remember my title is NBA trivia champion.
Yeah. All right, Mike, you want to reintroduce our guest? You had some good questions you want to ask.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, we want to welcome in, of course, Noel Blaha. He's the Vice President of Marketing and Media, and I know he wears other hats as well, of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, a AAA affiliate of the Miami Marlins. And, one thing, Noel, that I think is really interesting about the baseball and the AAA level, I'll talk a little bit about you just hit on the name, the Jumbo Shrimp. Is it almost like you have to have something different to get people's attention? That's A. And then B, I mean, it is and I think you and I have talked off the air, especially at the minor league level, it is a entertainment scenario all the way. It's not just baseball, is it?
Correct. Yeah. And so when we wanted to come up with a new name and we had these brainstorming sessions, we wanted something that was fun, catchy, memorable, and had some sort of local tie-in as well. So obviously Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp is alliterative, but also the commercial shrimping industry actually got off the ground here in Jacksonville. Fernandina Beach is where the commercial shrimping industry kicked off in the 1920s. They figured out how to shrimp and keep the shrimp on the boats refrigerated. So there's a local tie-in. Mayport Shrimp is still the best jumbo shrimp that you'll ever have from right here in Jacksonville, which is great. So there's that tie-in to it as well. And then, when we were coming up with it, Mike, you're right. We don't want to just be known as a baseball team. We very intentionally made a logo that doesn't have a baseball bat or a baseball on it. We're not as egotistical to think that we're Apple or Disney, but when you see that Apple logo or you see the Disney logo, you're immediately brought someplace, and you think of what the brand means to you. And so our idea with that Jumbo Shrimp logo, at least in the Jacksonville area, is to immediately think of that's a family place where people like to have fun. We do beer festivals, we do dollar movie nights where people pay $1 to sit on our field and watch the latest Disney movie up on our video board. So yeah, we wanted to create something that fit our business model, which isn't just baseball, and it's not just an April to September operation either. We wanted to be a year-round family entertainment center.
So we've had the owner of the Savannah Bananas on, and when they came out to San Jose, because they played all around the country, do you know how much those tickets went for?
Oh yeah, we've had the fortune of hosting them for the last 2 years, and that is, I mean, those are Super Bowl level prices to get in the door. And what Jesse has done with the Bananas and now taking it on the major leagues stadiums is really, really cool. And they've got the great ability to be able to do all that fun stuff. And when we're definitely fans of what they do for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were like $500 a ticket.
Oh,
for
yeah.
like all yeah, and we're talking, and it's like $900 for really good seats, and you're talking 40,000 people.
Yeah, and they're all sold out, and you can't touch them. It's it's a heck of a business model they've got going for them.
No, I have a question, Noel. How do you feel about welcoming the A's to your ranks of minor league teams?
Well, I'll tell you this. Mike and I were talking about this the other day, and I'll say, from a minor league perspective, and we had a little bit of an experience with this when Toronto played in Buffalo during the COVID season. That minor league facility is going to get some upgrades. They're going to have major league quality facilities, batting cages, clubhouses, food areas. So from a minor league perspective, it's going to be a pain in the neck in the short term, but for the long term, the investment that has to be made to upgrade that facility.
No, with all due respect, that's not going to happen. The ownership for the A's is going to go to like IKEA, and he's going to go to like eBay and get anything that's upgradable. He's going to do on the absolute cheap or not at all, because the guy doesn't want to spend money. He just wants to get money. He doesn't want to spend it. So I won't be surprised if he doesn't make almost any changes to the.
Well, that payroll hasn't really changed a lot. I remember about 10 years ago, I interviewed Billy Bean, and I said, "Hey, Billy, now I was 54 back then, and I said, I can pitch. I can throw in the high 60s." He wasn't very impressed. I couldn't believe he didn't put me on the payroll. I would have worked for cheap. Anyway, so the players, Mike, you were asking before we cut or when we were on break about how many famous people have played on the now Jumbo Shrimp.
No, I mean, I have so many questions where it's ridiculous, but I guess. Oh, hey, one other thing about the A's, and we'll get to that. But you and I talked off the air. Now, I was told, and I have not got this actually confirmed, but there's word that the A's may play at the Oakland Alameda Coliseum, which is a joke. It's a horrible stadium. Yes, I said that. You didn't say that. The point is, how does a AAA team go from the nice, beautiful Sacramento ballpark to play at a 40,000, 50,000 seat stadium? Nobody's going to show up. How does that hurt the club? That's A. And then B, you educated me. You said, no, actually, this is going to be good for baseball in Sacramento. And I said, how is that going to be? Because it sounds like you're going to get a major league product, but as soon as they leave, what is it going to do to the River Cats?
And also, how do they play in the summertime? But go ahead.
I think it'll be interesting to see. Are they going to do the swap where Sacramento is going to go to Oakland, or are they going to share the facility? Because either one of those is going to be a huge challenge on that minor league staff that's taxed with selling tickets and sponsorships. But yeah, after the team leaves, after the major league team leaves, hopefully some of those upgrades will be a little bit more than the IKEA level and the Aldi level, and they'll have some nicer furniture. Maybe that would be the goal that you see there. But you also see the benefit because presumably those major league ticket prices will be more expensive, and so when the AAA team then takes back over, you'll have that benefit of having the more affordable ticket prices for the.
All I got to tell you is that there's a giant IKEA within driving distance of the River Cat Stadium, like about a 10-minute drive. So, just warning everyone.
And Noel, by the way, Noel Blaha, the Vice President of Marketing and Media, is with us from the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Noel, you said you actually see opportunity for a team like the River Cats once the it's hard to say these names, the A's move to Vegas. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think people are going to see what can be done on the major league level in a stadium like Sacramento has, which is a great stadium, and the ability that they're going to go from seeing major league caliber baseball and then a more affordable product is going to come back into that market. That is an opportunity for them to tap into revenue streams that maybe they didn't know existed, as well as offering the tickets at a lower level and some of the other packages there too. So yeah, I would see that as an opportunity challenge rather than something that's going to bog them down. So hopefully that's what the Sacramento staff will see it as well.
Now, sorry. As far as the Jumbo Shrimp are concerned, talk a little bit about the daily things or some of the intricacies. Literally, do us a favor, because we don't get to sit in your office. We don't get to walk around the stadium for the most part. What is it like to run a ball club at that level? What are the things that people like us, the fans, don't know, don't have a clue about what goes on?
Yeah, I'll say no 2 days are the same. I get to wear a lot of different hats, as you alluded to earlier, Mike, and I love that. I love that I get to oversee our merchandise, our promotions, our media relations, our communication department. Like, we all get to do a little bit of everything, which is really great to see. And it's a lot of fun to be able to do that, because if I was going to be in a major league team or an NFL team like we have across the parking lot, I would be focused on doing one thing and one thing only. But I'm very fortunate to have worked for ownership groups in my career that identify quality individuals and create positions and jobs and responsibilities that are in my skill set. So, we are responsible on the day-to-day for putting butts in seats is the end result of what we do, but it goes a lot further. We have relationships within the community, whether it be with our partners, our sponsors, our local schools. We want to be involved with all those people in the community as well. So we get to do such a variety of things. It's really, really great and enjoyable.
All right. Hey, guys, we're going to cut to our next break. I do want to make a mention here for Talk of the Town, 97.7 and 1570 AM WHTX in Youngstown, Ohio. A little shout out to the operations manager, Carl Bloom. Our producer said, hey, make sure you make another mention for these guys. There you go. All right. Here's our second trivia question on the NBA. What is the average height in the NBA? The average height for a player in the NBA. And I don't know if is that mean, mode, or medium? Well, remember those three things in math. But then basically, just what's the average height in the NBA? I'll tell you, it's somewhere between 5'5" and 8 foot. Okay, that's a hint. All right, stay with us. Sports Econ 101 will be right back. Don't touch that dial. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. One more time, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mike McDowd, Russell Jackman, our special guest, Noel Blaha. Trivia question number 2 on the NBA. What is the average height for a player in the NBA? Anyone?
Noel, you want to go ahead?
I got to say it's 6'10".
No, I'm going to say 6'4".
I was going to say 6'6".
Mike McDowd is correct. 6'6". Very good.
Yeah.
Well, I gave you a hint. I said somewhere between 5 foot and 8 foot. So I narrowed it down. If I didn't narrow it down for you, you might not have gotten it. So I'm just teasing. Our guest Noel Blaha from the AAA team, the Jumbo Shrimp. Now have you also worked at? You said you did work at single A and double A. Right?
Mhm.
How much different is the caliber of players?
It's noticeable. That we
Yeah.
transitioned here in Jacksonville from double A to triple A for the 21 season. And they're grown men. I mean, I was at the single A level and we literally had 17-year-olds playing with 23 and 24-year-olds. And, here in Jacksonville at the triple A level, you've got guys that are on the 40-man roster of the major league teams. You've got guys that are doing rehab starts, and you've got guys that are hanging on for an extra year of pro baseball. They're in their late 30s, and they think they can get one more shot. So you've got guys that are fully developed, and it really is it's a massive difference. I think specifically from double A to triple A. They're much more, these guys are not going to be doing the bonehead little league plays that we saw maybe in single A and sometimes in double A. The triple A guys really are an extension of that major league team. And we kind of saw that also during the COVID years as well, when we hosted some games here, closed door games. The triple A really now, especially because the rosters are larger in the major league level now, and the triple A level is that they really are the extension of the major league teams. And probably some of our triple A teams could beat some of the lower level major league teams on any given day.
How often do you see guys get moved up?
The Marlins are move their players quite a bit, so we get a lot of fluctuation up and down, and it's pretty exciting. We started last season, the 2023 season. The Braves AAA were in town, and Robert Acuna Jr. did a rehab weekend for us. That was great for the box office. Jacksonville is probably a Braves market for the major league team, so a lot of Braves fans here. So to have a guy like Acuna Jr. Play against us was a box office hit for us. In fact, that week I put up on our digital billboards around town, come see Robert Acuna Jr. So we were promoting the opposing team's player to sell tickets, which worked out really well in our favor.
Yeah, because you're too far from Tampa Bay, right?
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, we're probably Tampa Bay. We're closer to Tampa Bay, but generationally, people are Braves fans. This is Braves country. Just going back generations.
Yeah, because Miami's way too far away.
Right, and just doesn't have the history. Only being a club. From the early '90s.
Yeah, and off air, you were saying that there were some famous some famous Hall of Famers who were some of the ones who came through Jacksonville.
And that's the great thing about minor league baseball, because any minor league team, again, like I said earlier, everybody in America is within 100 miles of a minor league baseball team. There's been great players that have come through your towns, and we're very fortunate here in Jacksonville to have a rich baseball history. Hank Aaron played here in the Jacksonville Braves organization. Phil Niekro, Tom Seaver, Randy Johnson, Larry Walker. We've had some great players that have come through here. Alex Rodriguez. It's been great through the years. The players that have come through, and any minor league team is going to have that history as well. This is where you can see those guys on their ascension, and it's really neat to be able to say, hey, I saw this guy. Giancarlo Stanton played here for the Jacksonville Suns. At the time, he was called Mike Stanton. But the people that have said, oh man, I saw Stanton hit a home run that must have gone 500 feet, and I'll believe it. So it's really cool to be able to come and see those guys on their ascension, and the history speaks for itself.
Hey, Noel, what about the balance? Well, I know you mentioned all these great starts, which is awesome. You really have to celebrate those people, don't you? I mean, it's such a rich part of your baseball tradition.
Yeah.
You go to your ballpark, for example. I know there's a big pictures of Tom Seaver out there. I believe Henry Aaron is there as well. How important is to keep that history alive for the Jumbo Shrimp?
Yeah, it's certainly a balance, right? Because we said we can't control the players. We've got to put 7,000 fans in the stands, whether we've won 10 in a row or lost 10 in a row. So we can't depend on the players that are currently on the team, certainly, to put butts in seats and sell tickets. But we can celebrate that history, which is what we like to do. And while we're saying that we market to moms and families to come out and have an affordable, fun time and enjoy the fireworks. We also want people to learn the history of the Negro League teams that have played here in Jacksonville, of the great stars like Hank Aaron and Tug McGraw that have pitched here in Jacksonville, and some of those great Royals teams from the 1980s all got their starts here in Jacksonville. Dan Quisenberry, some of these guys that have played here. So keeping that history alive is important, but it is definitely a balance because we want to attract the casual fan that is just looking for something to do and an activity, but at the same time we want to respect the history of the baseball that's been played here over 100 years, and get people to come out and enjoy both of those things.
Hey, Noel, I've got a joke for you. What is the one major league team that your team doesn't want to face?
Oh man, it's got to be our affiliate, right? The Marlins.
No, you don't want to face the Padres. Why not? Because they're the Friars.
There we go. That's right. I like it.
Oh man,
that's
even worse than my dad joke.
That's the one you kind of say for the end.
There you go.
Yeah, and I'm glad you already did it because yeah.
I'll take the blame for that one.
Yeah, definitely take the blame for that one. How much are the tickets to go see?
Yeah, we start at $5. We have a $5 general admission ticket, and we
$5. That's an outrage. I won't stand for that.
$5 and a $2 hot dog at every game. So yeah, we range all the way up to $35, $45 seats for behind home plate with waitress service and things like that. But again, we're trying to appeal to a broad base, and we want to be an inclusive and welcoming environment for our entire community. And so whether that be the beer drinking 20-something-year-old that wants to hang out and have a good time, or whether it be the mom that's going to bring the kids, or whether it be the little league team that wants to come out and enjoy seeing top ranked baseball as well.
It's like you went out to dinner and a baseball game broke out.
Exactly. It's exactly right.
So like the hockey and the boxing.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly right. We're in the hot dog and beer business for sure.
Yeah. So we had I think they finally folded, or they play somewhere else, but here in Marin County, just north of the Golden Gate Bridge, literally San Rafael, which is where I live. We had the San Rafael Pacifics, but it was an
Independent
what do they call it?
Independent.
What?
Independent.
I knew it. Well, international, no, independent league.
Yeah, did Jose Canseco
but they considered it
play for them, maybe?
What's that?
Did Jose Canseco play for them? Maybe.
No, they were. I think they came in existence after he had retired.
He did a home run.
He
did a home run contest there once.
Yeah. He did that, and then Bill Lee,
Baseman,
with the oldest
Baseman,
which is kind of interesting because he actually grew up in our area. He's older than I am, and he was actually like best friends with the guy down the street from me. So it was really kind of cool when he went to play for the Red Sox, and eventually the Expos, and then
he actually pitched in our building last year for the Bananas.
Okay. Yeah, because he's got to be 70 now.
Yep.
Hey, 5 seconds. Bill the Spaceman Lease became, when he pitched for the San Rafael Pacifics, he won a game. He became the oldest man in the history of baseball to win a baseball game. Not only that, part of the deal was he also had to bat. He got the winning double RBI. Hitting his own, by the way, he makes his own bats. I don't know if you guys knew that. I think probably your players use them all. He has his own maple. Yeah, it's quite a story.
Yeah.
Well, Steve Travers is his son-in-law, and Steve was affiliated with the Oakland A's, and I think he hurt his shoulder. He was a good pitcher, but he hurt his shoulder. So it's all this local stuff. In fact, Steve played on the team that was considered the best baseball team in the country back in 1976, or maybe he had just graduated, because that's the one with Buddy Biancalana. Anyway, long story on that.
Buddy played here in Jacksonville in the 70s. The Suns were a Royals affiliate, so Buddy came through Jacksonville.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Remember when he was on Letterman when the World Series?
Yes.
Buddy's been on our show too.
That was so funny. I mean, he told me that a lot of that was just sort of off the top of his head, but it was so funny because he gave him what looked like a brand new bat, and he goes, "Yeah, I don't get too many hits." So
But what his mom had said, which was that Buddy Biancalana is closer to Pete Rose in hits than David Letterman was to Johnny Carson in laughs.
Wow.
Exactly.
That floored David Letterman. He had no response for that.
That's thing.
That's definitely a good one. All right, guys, we have just about 2 minutes before we cut to our last break. What else you want to cover in the last 2 minutes?
Hey, no, real important. I know we talk. I don't really want to talk about the Savannah Bananas, but one of the things about this club is very interesting. Your product particularly is professional baseball, and it's serious, big time business. Yeah. And you kind of reiterated that, but. But you and I have also mentioned you're entertainment, man. You are entertainment, and especially in today's generation, people expect a whole new level of thing. You go to a game now, you got music popping, DJs, blah blah blah. Now, is there something from the wackiness? Because Major League Baseball, the beauty of it, you can get so creative. You don't see things at your level that you'll see at the MLB level. Now, could you take any of that crazy stuff like a breakdancing first base coach and apply it to your product?
Yeah, we certainly do. We try to steal, and what I say in minor league baseball, there's no original ideas. There's just good ideas made better. So yeah, anything that the Bananas do, if we can try and fit that, we can't put a Hooters girl out to coach third base, like they could. But we could do something funny between innings and send out a guy that's dressed like the umpire and have the umpire break dance. There's tons of stuff that we can do there, and we certainly want to emulate those. And like I said, we like to co-opt and steal some of those ideas that are out there and make them our own. And so yeah, there's a whole world of being able to do that and steal those ideas and make them our own.
Anything wacky coming up that you can divulge with you guys? Are you guys going to be doing anything crazy?
We've got probably one of our fun jersey designs this year that we're doing is public domain jersey. So we've got a jersey that's got Starry Night by Van Gogh. It's got King Kong and it's got Mickey Mouse on there because they've all entered the public domain. And that's going to be a jumbo shrimp jersey with all those.
Very cool. I definitely got to see that when it comes out. All right, guys, here's our last trivia question on the NBA. Who was the youngest regular season MVP? All right. So MVP, not NBA. Who was the youngest in the regular season? So forget the playoffs and all that. All right. That's our trivia question. Stay with us. You're listening to Sports Econ 101. When we come back, we're going to have our thoughts of the day and a little last minute talk of sports and business. Don't touch that dial. We're going to be right back. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Last time for today, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mike McDowd, Russell Jackman, and our special guest, Noel Blaha from the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp AAA team. All right, the last trivia question on the NBA. Who was the youngest regular season MVP? And I'll say it was within the last 15 years.
Last 15 years.
I mean, I could say last 50 years, but that I'm trying to give you a little bit of a hint.
Well, I was going to say Wes Unseld, but that is way past that cutoff. 15 years.
Yeah, obviously you'll know this player.
Is Giannis?
How about
LeBron
James?
No, Derrick Rose.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Derrick Rose. Yeah, I know.
I didn't realize.
Was he with the Bulls then?
Yeah, he was with the Bulls.
He started off with?
He was with the Bulls.
He was with the Bulls.
It's kind of a down year for the MVP.
Yeah. Well, Noel Blaha, media VP from the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Next time it's funny, we were thinking about going to Jacksonville after my daughter's getting married in New Orleans, and then we were going to think about where to go and thinking, okay, October. How good is Florida in October? I guess it's potentially hurricanes.
The hurricanes will wind down. Those are the money months. So October to February, it's perfect.
It's perfect. Okay, well, I'll tell him.
I drove through Jacksonville in '95, and it was still the Jaguar Stadium was just being built. I have pictures of it just being constructed. So it's been a long time.
And a lot of people, I never stayed in Jacksonville until I moved here for the job, but it's a great place, and a lot of people
great place
drive through it.
We'll have to check that out. All right, here's our thoughts for the day. So I dreamt I was Ebenezer Scrooge, and after I was in the dark, after not paying my PG&E bill, I was visited by the ghost of Christmas past due. Give a man a gun and he will rob a bank. Give a man a bank and he'll rob everyone. Boy, is that true. All right. Tune in next week to Sports Econ 101. We're going to be discussing sports topics from a business perspective and asking more sports trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm your host, Edward Brown. We'll see you next week.
Adios.
Take care.
So long.
Go Shrimp.
Go Shrimp. I like that.
Nice.
All right, guys.
Appreciate it, Edward. Mike, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
Sure.
Thank you very much for being
my
our
pleasure.
guest. And Mike, thanks for inviting him. Good stuff.
Thanks, Noel.
Thanks, guys.
All
Have
right.
a great one.
Leave me a call, Noel.
Sounds good.
Thank you. It was easy, Edward.